Morning, guys, and there's your temperature. -11 feels like -35, which is not quite as cold as I thought it was going to get. And we just jumped into the Super Duty here. We're going to go ahead and get this thing fired up. Yes, it was plugged in. We'll see how long I have to crank it. Oh yeah! I'm gonna let that warm up for a few minutes. Woo! Alright, we'll bring you back in a little bit here. I'll let this warm up for probably 10 minutes. Guys, I'm back after our little cold start escapade this morning at about 4 o'clock in the morning. Was going to go into town just to check out, maybe trying to clean up my accounts, not doing any salting or anything, but we didn't get any snow last night. It was just windy as hell, and I was just going to try and scrape them off. Well, I let the truck warm up for about 10 minutes and started dropping injectors one by one. So that told me one thing. I was running out of fuel real quick, and the truck's got half a tank in it. So I knew I had a fuel line gelling issue. So I went and got some diesel additive, and you know, it's too late when you add it afterwards. I ran down, the truck stop is 2 minutes from my house. I jumped in my wife's vehicle and ran down to the truck stop and was looking for some rescue, and they didn't have any. All they had was just a regular treatment. So I got the truck, I got that in the tank, and I could get the truck to run and idle for like 2 minutes, but I couldn't get it to clear itself up. As soon as it would overcome the fuel in the fuel bowl, it would just quit. So it was to the point where if I cycled the key 5 or 6 times, I could get fuel in the fuel bowl. So I did that, and as soon as my wife left for work, I turned the heat on in my garage here at home, and I pulled the truck inside. Had to actually put the truck in low range because it wouldn't make any power, but I got it in the garage and let it sit for about 4 hours, and it's ready to go now, I hope. I'm just letting it run some more. It was actually kind of crazy because I had it plugged in all night, and I was sitting here warming it up, and the truck was making awesome heat, and it just quit. So I thought maybe the fuel bowl had some ice in it, maybe that little heater quit, but I opened up the fuel bowl a few minutes ago and looked inside. I was charging the camera up, sorry about that, and there was nothing in there. The fuel was clean, everything looked good. I'm due for a fuel filter change, but I'm pretty sure that didn't have anything to do with it. It was just that cold, and this truck has a steel tank on it, and the Fords have a pickup screen in them, in the tank, and my buddy said he had this happen to him when it would get real low, like the last quarter of a tank of fuel with this big aftermarket tank. And I've got half a tank of fuel in it that did it, but it was 15 below zero last night, so I'm just going to let it warm up here a little bit longer, and I'm going to grab some more fuel. Something tells me that I got some shitty fuel, and I want to get some good fuel in this tank, so we'll put 20 or 30 gallons of good fuel in this tank, and hopefully all will be well. So I will catch you guys later on. Maybe we'll do a fuel filter change here at the house later on, but I'm not going to be doing a whole lot today. It's still, thermometer in the truck says 0. I bet it's still 5 below. We're not moving. We're just sitting here in the driveway watching her change. So thankfully the block heater works, and the new batteries were installed and everything. So never killed the battery, never cranked on it for a long time. If it didn't light within the first 8 or 9 seconds of cranking, I just quit on it and cycled the key to cycle that fuel pump. It was like, you know, the prime on the fuel pump, it's timed, and it would stop, and it wouldn't get enough fuel in the bowl. So looks like we got good fuel in the bowl now. I got a valley full of diesel fuel now, so I'll run it down the road and get that to run off. Because when I pulled the fuel filter out, I just let it drip back in the bowl. Well, all that pressure that was in the bowl, the bowl was full, so I could have drained it, but it would have been right onto my floor, and I didn't want to do that. So we'll catch you guys in a bit. Alright guys, so had this thing in the garage for a couple hours this morning warming up, and thought it was all good to go, and ran it up the road, and started losing power and hesitating and trying to crap out on me, so I nursed it back home and put it in the garage for another hour or so, and called my partner and had him come bring me some diesel 911 and another fuel filter. Fuel filter all looked good that was in it, but as soon as this tank of fuel's out, that fuel filter's going bye-bye. So I'm hoping, crossing my fingers, that the diesel 911 took care of it. We're going to go put some better fuel in it a little bit later on, or some newer fuel in it. It's only a couple days old, but I think I got some shitty fuel too. So I'll show you what I used when I get back to the house here. Decided to run up a side street this time and go a couple miles away and romp on it pretty good, making sure that I didn't get stranded on my street. There's too much traffic, but there's still some good people out there. I had a concerned citizen saw me on the side of the road with my four-ways on, just limping this thing along, making sure I was okay, and that's always good, you know. Gotta check on stranded motorists, especially when it's 10 below zero out here. You can't leave a man hanging. So I'll show you the diesel fuel additive that I put in this to rescue the problem when I get back. So I'll talk to you in a few. So, back at the house here. I'm in the garage, and I have a little gasoline fired heater here on the wall. Excuse me, natural gas, not gasoline. It's below zero outside, and I don't know if I can get this thing to focus on my thermometer on the wall. It says it's 4:15. It's 65 in here. That's been running since 5:30 this morning, and it's been pretty warm. So here's the product I used. Power Service Diesel 911. You take this stuff and you pour it in your tank. This treats 30 gallons, I believe it says, to re-liquefy gelled fuel right there. Add 32 ounces of 911 to each 30 gallons. You can also dump it in your fuel filter, 50-50 with diesel fuel, to help ungel a fuel filter. I do have a new one there, but despite the fact that it's cold out, I believe that I got a hold of some shitty fuel in that tank there. So that might be part of it, or fuel that, I don't know that it has water in it, because when I pulled the filter off, I mean, there was nothing in there that would look like it was separated. No debris, no nothing, no ice crystals. And I mean, as cold as it was outside, there should have been ice crystals. So I'm pretty sure the fuel just gelled up. So, and the way it was acting, it didn't act like water in the fuel. Usually once they have water and the water gets to the level of the suction in the bowl, you're done. It'll just stop it dead. So, and won't start again because you'll have water in there. So that's what I did, and here's the old fuel filter right there. That's a CarQuest brand. I'm gonna shop around a little bit. I get a discount at our CarQuest on parts and paint and things like that, and that sumbitch was $48, and I won't ever pay $48 for a Powerstroke fuel filter again. That's ridiculous. Not gonna cut it. You can see I got my little Mitsubishi tractor in here, my little diesel, because the truck with the plow on it doesn't go in the garage anyway. That's why we had this problem. And this is the first time in 20 years since we've had a near negative 20 temperature. And I believe it was my senior year in high school. During exam week, we had extreme cold like that. We had a big storm, kind of like what just hit last week or over the weekend, and then we got a huge cold snap like this, and they canceled school for like, I want to say 4 or 5 days. just because the cold was so extreme and they weren't running the buses. They probably couldn't. They're probably having the same problems I am because all the buses sit outside. They don't sit in the garage. Even though they're plugged in, it doesn't help when the fuel is stopped up in the lines. So I don't know that this was a how-to. This is what happened to me today, and I'm going to leave this sucker in the garage until my wife has to come home, and then I'll pull it back out. I have the last clip. I did run it up the street and just whomped the shit out of it once it was up to temperature, and ran it around a couple of miles, and it only made it about 300 or 500 yards last time before it started fumbling around. So hopefully that did the trick. It's supposed to be climbing temperatures tonight up to 8 above zero or 10 above zero by 10 o'clock tonight. So hopefully, I didn't have any problems with it before. Hopefully I won't have any problems with it again, because I have until I need to take my garbage to the shop. But I have this in the tank now as a supplement. I have that whole 100-gallon treatment in about 30 gallons of fuel. So I did that this morning when I couldn't find the diesel 911. I should have, there's not a whole hell of a lot open at 4 o'clock in the morning. So, and the truck stop's close to the house, so that's all they had. And I can't believe they didn't have any 911. A place like that should have the shit falling off the shelves. But, alright guys, well, I'll get this one cheeched up to the tubes for you, and we'll catch you later.